Howdy, friend. Welcome to Homegrown. I'm your host, R.P. Smith. Our place is greening up nicely and making us feel much more optimistic about the prospects for the summer. We ran out of hay, so that seems like the right time to quit feeding it. My job description changes quite a bit over the next few days as we transition to putting up more hot wire and trying to keep something green in front of the cattle, sheep, and horses. But that job is much easier with some moisture in the top few inches. The posts push in better. I had a nice ride this morning checking on the heavies and the calves that have come in the last 2 weeks. Just a handful of heifers left, but one of them was looking for somewhere else to make a nest. I appreciate my neighbor tracking me down and telling me which way she went. She either knocked the gate down herself or it had gotten left open. Since it wasn't swung back, I'm going to blame her. And I have no clue what went through where my fence used to be on the other side of the road, so I guess I can keep an eye on her while I work on fence. If she'd gotten to stay in the forest behind my mom's house, she sure would have been on her own. It brings to mind one of a series of tragic poems I wrote many years ago. This one I titled Pelvic Bone in the Canyon. I think I've come far enough. I'm miles from the herd. I suppose I should have told someone, but I never spoke a word. And it's nice here in this canyon, secluded and all alone, far away from that clumsy cowboy. I will calve here on my own. I think I'll finish up this morning's show with a more positive note. How about a Badger Clark classic? One of my favorites, ridin'. There is some that like the city, grass that's curried, smooth and green, theaters and strangling collars, wagons run by gasoline. But for me it's hoss and saddle every day without a change, and a desert sun a-blazin' on 100 miles of range. Just a ridin', desert ripplin' in the sun, mountains blue against the skyline. I don't envy anyone when I'm ridin'. When my feet is in the stirrups and my hoss is on a bust with his hooves a-flashin' lightnin' from a cloud of golden dust, and the bawlin' of the cattle is a-comin' down the wind, then a finer life than ridin' would be mighty hard to find. Just a ridin', splittin' long cracks through the air, stirrin' up a baby cyclone rippin' up her prickly pear. As I'm ridin', I don't need no art exhibits when the sunset does her best, paintin' everlastin' glory on the mountains to the west. And your opry looks plumb foolish when the nightbird starts his tune, and the desert's silver-mounted by the touches of the moon. Just a ridin', who can envy kings or czars when the coyotes down the valley are singin' to the stars, if he's ridin'. When my earthly trail is ended and my final bacon curled, and the last great roundup's finished at the home ranch of the world, I don't need no harps nor halos, robes or other dressed-up things. Let me ride the starry ranges on a pinto hoss with wings. Just a ridin', nothing I'd like half so well as roundin' up the sinners that have wandered out of hell, and a ridin'. Thanks for riding along on Homegrown this morning. Hoping that the Lord blesses you real good today, that He's raining on your place, and that our happy trails cross again soon. I'm R.P. Smith.